Ready?
I was born ready.
I was there. I recall that you weren't. Hey, Scott from Aristocob.com here.
Seth from theshrinkingpastor.com.
Together, the three of us, we are Markwood Men's Breakfast Club. Welcome back once again. Good morning, boy.
Good morning, Homer.
How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Doing all right.
It's a perfect shop temperature.
Yeah, I agree with you. It's not so cold that we need to have the wood stove on, though we could if we wanted to. But you have like not having a jacket on. I like having a jacket on.
And I've got two shirts, so yeah,
it's perfect to smoke.
That's right.
I have here some Lane Bulk RLP6.
That
I had somebody
not complicated at all.
I had somebody remind me recently that I had recommended this to them like a year or so ago, and they were looking for something different than 1Q, but anyway, this was what I had recommended. And after they reminded me of that, it's like, I don't have any of that right now. I'm gonna get some. And it's really interesting because if you like 1Q or don't like 1Q, it's very similar in its flavorings. However, it is more of a burley blend than a Virginia blend, where 1Q is far more Virginia.
Right.
And so I thought, let's smoke this and see if you notice the difference between this and our run-of-the-mill Cavendish.
I haven't smoked my weight in 1Q.
I'm not saying that you need to be able to compare and know the distinction between them.
That's good. That's a lot of 1Q.
Well, if you had started younger, then it wouldn't have been so much.
That's what I get for procrastinating.
That is so true.
So we are a few days post Super Bowl. So I know 2017. I know that you are a big football fanatic.
Sports. I am so into sports.
Yes.
I need a sports shirt.
I need one as well. Did you watch the football game? The sports activity?
I watch exactly 2/3.
Oh.
I tend to watch...
You know that it's broken up into quarters, right?
Yes. I tend to watch one football game a year. In fact, the only sport I watch is football, and the only game I watch is the Super Bowl.
Yep.
And this year, as so many people were, I was so disappointed by how off balance it was that shortly after the halftime, I just moved on. Started watching videos on smoking brisket.
So let's talk about the most important thing you mentioned, halftime show. What'd you think of that? Did you guys stay on the sports channel?
Yeah, I thought it was fine.
For the halftime show?
I thought it was fine. I mean, I expected most of the things that I'm sure were quite dramatic for the audience there weren't so dramatic for us on TV. Like, I didn't think the drone stuff was nearly as impressive as I'm sure it was there.
That was pre-filmed.
Okay. I didn't think...
So you're right, it wasn't impressive there.
I don't think that most of Lady Gaga's things that she was doing from the cables, the jumping and the diving and the this and the that, I don't think that was very impressive on TV. It reminds me, did you see the movie The Aviator?
That is Leonardo DiCaprio.
About Howard Hughes.
Yes.
Yeah. And he talked about recording the movie, what was it called? The Flying Aces or something like that? It was an old World War I airplane dogfight movie, and it was so frustrating because they were filming it in California, and the footage looked so flat of these airplanes dogfighting, and they realized it was because there's no clouds, there's no weather to have in contrast with the airplane. So the airplane could be diving, it could be going quite fast. Didn't look like it. Mm-hmm. So, same thing. Here you have Lady Gaga. She jumps and does something, but because of how they had the camera zoomed in on her,
right,
you couldn't tell how dramatic it was. I mean, how high off the ground was she?
She was off of the top of the stadium.
That wasn't very obvious.
Yeah, it was.
For me, who's half paying attention.
That's the thing. So you must have missed the wide shots where they pulled the camera back and you can see her coming down from the top of the building. So the drones I thought were interesting. I didn't know they were drones because that wasn't evident unless you read stuff.
Well, I knew in advance. Yeah.
Right. But that was pre-filmed.
Okay.
To get it right because
so they didn't take any audience members out when they...
Right. But knowing that it's drones, I think it's pretty, maybe not impressive from the music video standpoint, but it's impressive that they're able to do that with drones. I think it's pretty cool, the coordinating of them. But then what really was amazing to me is that she was singing live.
Yeah,
which
that's true.
Doesn't happen.
That's true.
Doesn't happen. Not only was she singing live, but she is like sprinting and running back and forth across the stage and doing crazy stuff. Singing while dancing in choreography, the whole 9 yards. Apparently she said in some interviews, not related to this, just in past performances, that she will sing while running on a treadmill to prepare for that. That was impressive.
See, I vomit while running on a treadmill.
Mm-hmm. While walking, yeah.
Say what you want about Lady Gaga, and you will. She's talented. I mean, she really is. And she knows how to sell a record and how to sell a concert and how to sell a meat suit.
Unlike a lot of people that go over the top for their public persona, many people tend to do that as a way of covering up their lack of talent.
Right.
She is. I appreciate about her that she's genuinely talented, and then goes over the top.
So,
for the publicity.
If you're sitting here watching and saying Lady Gaga's talented, go ahead, pause this video, open up another window, and I want you to search "Poker Face" a cappella. Okay, that song that we all think is just so ridiculous. Watch her playing the piano and singing that song a cappella. Well, of course, she's playing the piano, so it's not a cappella, but acoustic. It'll change your opinion of Lady Gaga if you have an opinion that she's not talented.
Right. Yep. So anyway, beyond that, you quit the sports watching activity right when things changed.
Not long. Well, the score was still 3-20.
Right before things changed.
Yeah. There was nothing. It was just going to be a rout. And so, like I said, I flipped the channel and I went back to watching Franklin BBQ cooking brisket in Austin, Texas.
That's not a bad thing to watch.
No, it's not.
So Homer was what's the word? Whining, I think, on the way over here about Franklin BBQ. Go ahead and share that.
Is it time to whine?
I think so.
In a couple weeks, I'm going to be in Austin. And while there, I don't think I've been there as an adult. I've been to a lot of other places in Texas as an adult. But I don't recall being in Austin. And so one of the places I've wanted to go for years is Franklin BBQ. It's a guy named Aaron Franklin. He had a PBS show. I think it was just a one-season series. You okay?
Yes, I'm sorry. I'm thinking of Franklin the Puppet from Arrested Development.
No.
Oh, man. Sorry.
Not at all like Franklin the Puppet. And Aaron Franklin is also occasionally a judge. If you watch the Pitmasters competitions, where Myron Mixon is usually one of the judges. Every now and then there's this young fella. I say young, he's probably 40 now. But this is a guy who started out maybe, let's say, 10, 12 years ago. He and his wife just cooking barbecue out of a trailer that they had that was set up in an area where they now do food trucks. And it grew and grew and grew to where now he has a retail restaurant. And if I have my numbers right, and I'm pretty sure I do, he cooks about 1,000 pounds of brisket a day, and it sells for about $20 a pound, plus ribs, plus turkey, plus sides, plus beer. And he's only open for lunch. And they open their doors at 11 a.m. and you have to be in line a couple hours ahead because a couple hours ahead of their opening, they'll come down the line and say, how many pounds of brisket do you want? How many ribs do you want? And they kind of take a tally because they know how much meat they put on the smoker the day before. Literally, they put the meat on the morning before to serve you for lunch today.
Right. Yeah, just because they're having lunch service doesn't mean they're only working at lunchtime.
Oh, no. They've got people there 24 hours a day. They're open 6 days a week. And I love this guy's work ethic, and everything I've seen about him, he knows his way around a brisket. And I'd love to try it, but I'm going to be there in town for a couple days, and there is not a single day where I can be waiting in line for hours for lunch. I'm really bummed about that.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I just found out some exciting Texas news. I'm going to be in San Antonio in March, and it just so happens that my good friend Adam from Texas, I call him Tex for reasons...
Is Tex named Adam?
Unknown, yeah.
I have never known that.
Yep.
I've known Tex for years now.
Yeah. One of my old camp friends.
It's like finding out that Waffle's name is Jason.
Yeah. Anyway, Tex is used to live in Odessa, Texas, and he told me last night. I don't even remember. He lives someplace else, but I'm going to be in San Antonio for business, and what he does sales, and so he said I will come to San Antonio. I'll schedule some appointments that day and hang out that evening at the hotel bar. So I'm excited about that.
You got to have him take you on the river walk and
actually
do some of that stuff.
No, first of all, no, dudes, I'm not having him do that.
I didn't say walk arm in arm on the river walk.
That sounds too romantic.
Hey, that's your hang up. But anyway.
Part of this trip, though, so this is a different sector. So this is for restaurants. I think I told you about my trip to Phoenix, and when I went to Phoenix, that was for grocery stores, right? And so, but it's put on by the same company. So on Sunday, the mingling activities, one group of people will be doing golf, and if golfing is your thing, you sign up for that. And for everybody who isn't interested in golf, there is going to be a mobile phone scavenger hunt, or geocaching, through the Alamo and the City Walk.
Oh, nice.
So get to see the whole thing.
That'll be fun.
I'm really excited about that.
That's a great area if you've not been and spent any time on the Riverwalk.
I've never been to San Antonio.
All right.
So, and we're doing Top Golf again, which is fun.
Oh, fun.
So
you want to meet up with your great uncle and aunt while you're down there? Probably no time for that.
I honestly, it feels still a little bit like a pipe dream to be able to meet up with Tex. I mean, when I meet with him, we will have gone to Top Golf that night. Top Golf ends at 10 o'clock, and he's meeting me at the hotel, and we're going to hang out until I crash, and then wake up the next morning and give more executive.
That's exactly when my uncle and aunt like to get out.
That's great. So yeah, tell them to come on to the Marriott, and we'll get some drinks.
I don't know if you've ever driven at night with cataracts, but it is an experience.
Who's cataracts?
My uncle's got a cataract.
Gotcha. So. No, I have not. No.
What time of year is that going to be? Is that going to be March?
It's March.
Yeah, that'll be great. The Riverwalk itself is so nice because you drop down below grade, you're down along the water, and the temperature drops at least 15, 20 degrees. So even on a hot summer day, it feels much better to be down there. And lots of restaurants and bars and nightlife to participate in.
Yeah, we won't be there at night.
You said 10 o'clock. You and Tex walking arm in arm on the... This is how I'm envisioning. I'm remembering this.
At 10 o'clock, we're going to be stuck hotel bound. But the trip I'm least anxious about as far as location plus time of year is I'm going to Phoenix again in April. And I hear that April is the start of their... Or not the start. It's summer. We talked to an Uber driver last time we were there, and he said that Phoenix does get 4 seasons. Actually, I think he said it gets 5 seasons. It gets like a month of spring, 8 months of summer, a week of Christmas, a week of winter, and then
Another
like
summer.
2 months of fall, 2 months of fall, and then like 3 weeks of winter again.
I didn't ask you.
And
did
then
you
summertime.
Did you see the saguaro cactus while you were out there?
I did.
What did you think of that?
That is amazing. So we took a trip, and I can't remember if I've told you about this or not. I know I've told you, but we took a trip to. I got to take a trip as part of my not golfing outing to the Taliesin West Architecture School, which is a school that was created and founded by Frank Lloyd Wright. He had a
He had snuck away from his wife with his mistress and moved to Scottsdale and told her he was busy.
right.
I know all about Frank Lloyd Wright and his time in Scottsdale.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
So actually, his wife was there with him.
Yeah, okay. You didn't know about the mistress.
No, that's not the story they told. Wife was there and all the students, and so they to this day the school has a winter session and a summer session. The summer session is, I want to say it's in Minnesota, as the other Taliesin location, or Wisconsin maybe. I think it's Wisconsin actually, and in Scottsdale is the Taliesin West. And so they switch. They do winters in Phoenix or Arizona, and then summertime in the other location.
So again, winter is February.
Winter is
What month is winter in Arizona?
Well, yeah. So they do. They do 6 months. I think they do 6 months. The students of the school, it's a graduate program. They design their own living quarters and they live in them. They're living in like fabric tents, most of them. And so anyway, yes, on the way there, we had a tour guide. We drove in a tour bus, and they were telling us about the Saguaro cactus, and that it doesn't sprout an arm until it is 75 years old. And so if you see any of them that are if you see any of them that look like a cactus, it's at least 75 years old, which is just amazing.
Unless it was a hothouse cacti, because the hothouse ones they can accelerate that a little bit. But one that's in the wild, that it has something to do with their reproduction as well. I did a couple videos years ago while I was out there and did a bunch of research and was just fascinated. I found one that had been struck by lightning and had burned, and all that was left was the ribs.
There are a lot of them.
So cool.
There are a lot of them that have burns on them. They can grow up to 50 feet tall, and they're built like they have a honeycomb pattern inside of them that
Like an accordion.
that is built just like an accordion. So as during the rainy season, which I think they said there's 2 months of rainy season, we were there during the rainy season in January, so that's why it's fall, I guess. And so they'll absorb the water and they'll expand, and then as they hit the dry season, they'll contract. And
If you are there, if you happen to be there, like right as I guess as the rain is starting and it's going directly from dry to beginning to wet, you can actually hear "Lady of Spain" being played on the accordion.
Okay. Another amazing thing about Scottsdale is they use aqueducts, and they have aquifers where they store their water. And so they don't take any water from the city of Phoenix. They get their aquifers from the Denver River, they said. And
Colorado River.
that's Colorado River. And they don't take water. Taliesin West uses a well that was dug by Frank Lloyd Wright and the students. So it's pretty amazing to be in this desert, dry climate, and to know that they have actually a surplus of water because they use it well.
It's a lot of interesting
Cool.
things. When I was out in Phoenix a couple times, I visited, what do they call it? It's called the Biltmore. It's not the Biltmore Estates that we have here in North Carolina, but it's a Biltmore resort or hotel that was a couple of Frank Lloyd Wright students. They asked if he could come out and help them, and in fact he came out and basically moved in with them, like a friend that's there to eat your food.
Right.
And it was very controversial between the three of them because there was this battle of, they they wanted to honor him, but it was their project, not his. And he would, at moments, overstep his bounds and say, no, it's going to be this way. But at the same time, he didn't want to take credit for things, but then he wanted to take credit, and then he didn't want... Really, but it's a cool place. And it used to be a place back before air conditioning where all the Hollywood stars would come and hang out. So it was where Ronald Reagan honeymooned with his first wife, and a whole bunch of stars back in the day used to go there and hang out. And one of the things that's very impressive about it is you go into the lobby area, and the ceiling of the lobby and a whole nother room are gold gilded, the entire ceiling. And it is the second largest ceiling that is gold gilded in the world. And the first one is the Taj Mahal, the largest is the Taj Mahal. And just really cool if you like mission and arts and crafts and prairie style furniture and architecture. That's what that's all about. It's really a cool place.
Well, two other real quick stats I thought were interesting. So Franklin Wright apparently liked, I think Taliesin means brow's ridge, referring to the eyebrow. And right behind the building are a couple of mountains that go higher than the building. And it is up on the hill. And one of the things that they pointed out is today most architects would build their building right on the tippy top of that mountain. And he didn't like to do that. He liked to go down about where the eyebrow would be of the mountain. And then there are features that were built into the design that would draw your attention to the mountain range behind you.
They would mimic the geography.
So there's a bell tower. There's a bell tower that's slanted. And if you look beyond the bell tower, it matches the slant of the mountain behind it.
Just like the bell towers found in nature.
Yes.
The bell towers of Capistrano, I believe.
Yes. They use local rocks, local boulders for the construction of the building. Last thing, you mentioned Franklin Wright being involved in this other project. On buildings that he designed, and then the completion of the building met the standards he laid out in his design, he would finish off the construction with a red block that had his signature on it to say that this is a Franklin Wright approved building, because a lot of people would get his designs and they would make changes to it, and so he wouldn't sign off on it.
Yeah.
So what's kind of cute is at this schoolhouse that he built with all of his apprentices, he was both the architect and the customer, and at the end of the project he put a red tile on his own building. So
no ego there.
No. He was
you can't accomplish
at the
things
At the time they went there, he was 70 years old.
Right.
So he had lots of time to build up an
new
ego.
wife then.
He had 3.
Yeah, it's a new one.
Yeah.
One of many. All right, cool. Hey, I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Talk about taking a couple twists and turns.
Yeah.
We'll see you next week. Thanks for joining us. Make it a great week. Unless there's anything you want to say.
Nope.
What do you think of the tobacco?
That's good.
Okay, there you go. Have you ever had this? RLP6?
It's not 1Q.
I heard somebody refer to it as RLP-6. I don't believe, I think the dash is silent.
Ripple 6?
Ripple 6.
No, that's Rillip 6.
In that case, you do pronounce the dash.
Rillip dish 6.
Make it a great week.
See ya.